Joining me now from Southern California, founder of Stop the Poop, Baron Partlow. Baron, 4 Democrat members of United States Congress called a news conference, and they have a brilliant solution, they say, to the border solution problem, the sewage coming from Mexico. These 4, by the way, have among the worst voting record in the history of the United States House of Representatives. But they say they want to increase the capital by $1.5 billion the North American Development Bank. They want to use the Navy to clean up the sewage in one way or another, and they want to effectively weaponize the Environmental Protection Agency. This use of the North American Development Bank seems to me like that's potentially, if it's not already, a taxpayer black hole.
It's just a money hole that just keeps going into Mexico and nothing happens. Nothing happens as far as lasting and viable solutions. The Navy is probably one of the most affected of the American people by the raw sewage, toxic chemical contamination, and trash, environmental and biological terrorist attack on the people of the United States from Mexico.
Because there's a base just north of the border, right? It's a Coronado, on Coronado Island, correct?
We have Ream Field. It's actually in the Tijuana River Valley between the border and the southern end of Imperial Beach. We have the amphibious base on the Silver Strand just north of Imperial Beach, which stretches all the way to South Coronado. And then we have North Island Naval Air Station on the very north end of the island of Coronado, and all 3 of those can get hit at once from these toxic flows, Graham.
Other than sending in Navy SEAL Team 6 to maybe find a solution covertly in Tijuana, this is just throwing more taxpayer dollars, more lip service to the problem. The bottom line is Tijuana is a major city, and a lot of Americans probably think, oh, it's a sleepy little town. It's not, is it?
No, it's not. It's a booming metropolis, and it's going to rival that of southern Los Angeles and northern Orange counties soon if it sprawls out from the eastern end of Tijuana to the western end of Tecate, Mexico, with another 80,000 to 100,000 homes projected to be constructed in that region.
And there's a sewage treatment plant, which is on the farthest edge of Tijuana, just south of the U.S. border there, that is dilapidated. It's overwhelmed. And when it is overwhelmed, it just essentially throws raw sewage in the Pacific Ocean?
Sure does. It dumps it practically onshore, Graham. It doesn't pump it off miles offshore. It dumps every single day 40 million gallons. And the southern current, when there's no rain or flow out of the Tijuana River in the summertime, like now, the southern current brings it north, and it still closes the beaches. And we're still under this relentless environmental and biological terrorist attack from the country of Mexico. They do this stuff on purpose, Graham. They don't fix it intentionally. They hold us hostage to fix their infrastructure, pour money into them, and we give them money, and it just suddenly disappears and doesn't go where it's supposed to, and their funding commitments are never met or their promises never kept.
If we spent U.S. taxpayer dollars, for example, to fund and repair this sewage treatment plant, what's the name of it again?
Punta Las Banderas.
All right, so it needs to be modernized, obviously, to say the very least. This is one prong of a solution that, U.S. taxpayers may not object to money going directly and supervised, obviously, by the United States to fix a plant like this. But there's a couple other things that need to be done as well, right?
Oh, yes, there are. And we're talking about some channelization of the Tijuana River that really needs to happen. These flows get caught up in trash flows that are blocked by arundo bamboo and growth. And they just keep coming, they keep pulling up, and then they eventually get washed out when millions of gallons come across, which happens all the time. It just happened recently. Within the last month, we've had 15 million gallons or more come just down the river. That doesn't count what comes up in the southern current and hit our beaches.
And there's a binational sewage treatment plant that sits on the north of the border in the United States that functions pretty well. It's meant to be a solution to this problem, but it's not operating at capacity right now, is it?
No, it's operating at 25 million gallons a day, which it is contracted by contractual agreement to do, and they meet their contractual agreement with that. They have a footprint for 100 million gallons, and then there's another 15 million with that 25 million that's pumped in locally to the South Bay International Wastewater Treatment Plant and then to the South Bay outfall. Now, what this will do, the increasing of this, it'll actually put more sewage, Mexican sewage, treated into the United States and off of Imperial Beach, which if you look at the premise and the spirit and the ethos of the Clean Water Act, it's a violation.
But it is part of the solution, and part of the solution is north of the border, south of the border, and these aqueducts that you referred to. And I think that there are too many Americans and maybe too many people in the White House who are malinformed about this other attack that's happening down along the border. This affects the health of millions of people in Southern California. And I think it's time that maybe we highlight it, not only on this program, but maybe we can consider a rally at the border sometime this year to highlight the attention and bring some attention to this problem. And so think about that, and maybe we'll check back with you. All right, Barron?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.